Hey guys, you're back from the video. I'm gonna be playing 2 table of Russian cash. Ace king, going to 3-bet. Okay, board is king 9 deuce. You can play small, here is fine. 3-bet 1/4. You can bet a lot kings board and 3-bet pot out of position. Close to every position is board really great for you. Fold. Okay. Queen just suited. I'm going to 3-bet aggressively here. Spots where people are not 4-betting enough, so like the bottom is winning money. I think in terms of 3-bet, you prefer like queen 5, queen 4 compared to queen deuce. That's fine. Board is king 10 8. You're going to have check 10% pot here. You can even have like the small size. I'm gonna use it. You see this spot in the wizard with complex 3. You also use this size. I actually put his air region in a really tough spot, like the ace 5 of first, for example. He raised, interesting. King 10 of club with squeeze to call. Nothing to do here. I'm just going to check. And against the raise, we need to call. I think it's the best action. Like the hands are raising for value on the turn. I'm going to bet the turn, so no need to raise. Now I feel like I can jump. People have like 8 10s, king 10, and like the single a6 of diamond can even call. She has like his queen or his jack. I think when I jam, I really represent like the ace of clubs. And I don't expect him to fold his value region. So I'm gonna jump. I also don't expect them to bluff that much when they raise, bet. I don't expect them to have that much bluffs. And even the bluff can give up on the river. And then if the bluff give up on the river, like should always jump. Because the amount of bad rivers for you are too high. And he's not folding 2 pairs. He's not folding probably his king. So yeah, this is not folding his king. I mean, people can see me on the same end with the diamonds are not folding. And the problem when he has ace kings are too many rivers where he's actually not value betting. Like a 10 or an 8. Even a queen, he's not going to value bet that much. All diamonds. So I think jamming is way better. I expect too many value bets just because the bluff are not often in the raising line for me. And also the only like bluffs people take are natural ends because they don't find the unnatural raise. So it's gonna be the ace of clubs. This is gonna be the ace of diamond. The only ace of diamond he has is queen. It's only 4 combos, so I'm fine with the play. King queen here. We 3-bet. What's king 8-7? Again, we only use super small size. In theory, betting 10% is fine. You can probably mix between 10 and 1/4 for the 2 main size here. And on the turn, if I bet too big with my hand, I'll just isolate myself against and have a lot of equity. And when you do that, you're going to isolate yourself either against hands that have a lot of equity or hands that beat you, so you prefer the check or the small bet option. And here we'll just check. It's gonna 3-bet. 1/3 is a great side on the turn. People are not calling enough big bets because you can say yes, so let's check if they are not. I'm gonna check here with king queen. Yeah, so 1/3 is the best size. You're not betting enough when you check, and if they're not calling enough, big bet. He bets 3/4. I think it's tough for him to find value, but I don't believe like the jack is going to make this size. I kind of want to call positively here. With ace queen, I'm gonna raise here. I'm gonna raise really big, and king queen I'm gonna call. A juice, yeah. I think a jack wants to size lower, so he's value betting a flush or nothing, and has too much nothing combos. And ace queen I raise big because the 2 sides are capped. I really represent nothing when I raise, like a 9 is betting on the flop, but just because when I raise extremely big, I put them in really tough spots with a weak region. And you know, people are a bit not comfortable in these spots and just fold without thinking too much about what you're representing. Because I actually represent nothing. I mean, I have no value when I do that. But it's fine. Sometimes you don't have value hands, you don't have the too much value hands, you press the region. But just because people fold too much, it's fine. King queen here, I'm gonna bet. I think something like 4.9 should be fine. I'm gonna have like 3 or 4 sizing against a reg here. If you have a range that wants to bet extremely small, like 2, a range that wants to bet 3, a range that wants to bet half pot, you even have a range that wants to do first, especially when you unblock the king X. It's important to have a lot of siding. Not because you want to play balance, just because you want to maximize the EV of your hand. Pocket 6 is a 3-bet. A bit loose. That's fine. And 2 calls. I'm gonna check. I think you can bet this. Yes, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna have a bluff when this guy check. I don't expect people to call me enough when they bet the turn plus the river. And when he see bets, it's just going to be a fold. This guy jumped. This is interesting. I think this is a fold because it's super easy for him to jump and with a good end want to see the turn. And it's not easy to process a jam with a draw when you are a wreck. I just believe he's more weighted toward the netted end region. And in general, when I face this move, it's more value than bluff, so I'm not gonna call this. I have better hands. Like if I have like a pair, for example, like a 7 or 9, I will have more equity compared to 6s. Because 6s is really terrible when your beats you don't have equity. King Queen against mean 3 bets. I'm not folding here, just have the odds. Okay, 6-7-4. We check. I don't expect too many folds, but I expect Value to check raise. I'm just going to bet here. I think it's the main range here is Ace King, Ace Queen. It's a range that will fall against bet. I'm gonna bet small again on the turn, just allow him to raise some slow blade, still out like aces. And I can value by the Ace King, Ace Queen region, and this will fall. Yeah, I'm not fine if he's raising. That was my goal, because if I bet too big and he calls, a bit sad for me because I want to triple here. And then he raised, just accept it. I'm still going to ask him to show when that's free. I'll say show for YouTube. Maybe he will show. Let's see. He doesn't. Okay, 7-6 here. I'm gonna bet 3/4. Yeah, that's a bit terrible here. Just feel lows, but nothing we can do. I'm just going to call. No, this is how you call. Like, sometimes you just random jam top pair, and also why I'm never folding with 2 pairs here is the range that bit means can just raise no flops. Never gonna fold because there is a scenario that is happening often where he has no value in. In this case, I win the maximum amount. Queen 8 here. When the c-bet is a fold too much and not free betting enough, so advise to raise a lot the spots. When I hit a queen on turn, I think I will just check. I have way too many bluffs, like 7-8, 7-5. Can have hands like Jack 8 of, I mean, cannot Jack 8 of clubs, but Jack 10 of clubs. King Jack of clubs type of hands. And now I really hate this size. I would say Japanese players are tighter in average. The guy just spots extremely fast. I'm gonna fold. He has a lot of bluff in his perception, but I have slightly blocked some with the 8 of clubs, which is bad. And if it's not too dramatic, just pots in general, and spots is a stronger size. I'm not winning against any bad wins. I think the fold's fine. Or suited here, a bit loose, I'm gonna call. We're playing a bit deeper, so we can put more pressure. And we might have a recreational player in the pot. Actually, when this guy calls, it's not that bad, because this guy will bluff less, and I can bluff them often. I think this guy is a reg. It's really from this type of country. So I'm going to open a bit loser. Or a bit wider, to stop saying loser. Back this here. I'm gonna try to check. I'll explain. No, it's probably not that great. I'm with only 1 blind. 5-4 here. I'm going to check. Can bluff later. On the turn now, just pot. Thinking about the better size. Probably 7 is a bit better. Sizing should be B here. Yeah, 1 blind of flop is a bit suboptimal. Like, I thought about doing something, but that's clearly not the most conservative strategy here. And now with 5-4, I'll do something that sounds really crazy. I'll just jump because I expect queenings to bet from this guy and this guy. So I think the range is always like Jack's 10s and to just fall against a jump. A bit crazy, but I kind of like it. I just represent too strong here. I don't expect them to see bet, even if it's Jack and 10. That's a bit aggressive, and thinking about this retrospectively, I think it's not the best move because if they're falling against a jam, they can also fall when I bet the turn plus the river. The only problem and why I don't do this is because when I have so much drawers in my perceived region, I do prefer to represent black stronger on the turn in spots where I can, and I expect them to fold more. Because if I check the flop, bet the turn plus the river, I think they can call type of hands. Whereas if I jam turns, way too uncomfortable for them to call jacks. So a bit tricky, but I like it. Especially true on double flush board whereas I'll always betting queen on turn. Sometimes you'll not bet the queen, but with this type of timings I have, like fast check in general, I want to block this. Should be careful when you do this type of move because it's super easy for you to punt. So just be careful here when you do this type of unfortunate play. And all this type of move, I know I can do them. That's why I'm calling pre-flop wins lose, because I will compensate the lost maybe in theory because I can just bluff all the time. Ace on ace 5-3. Turkey should play small check. It's not a good board for you to go for big bets into lights. Yourself too much against a stronger range. Now with ace deuce, I will just check against a recursion player. And on the turn with his snub check, I think he has air like close to all the time. I'm gonna check again and let him touch something. And I'm gonna bet 3/4 and let him call queen. Only range to call me is queens. I'll just bet 4. Queen 3 off, 2x open is way too weak here. I'm gonna raise. Flop, even if I have queen 3 off, that's fine. I don't expect enough 4 bets when people open 2. Pocket 7s, you can play this as a call or 3 bets. So don't 4 bet enough at this position yet, even in turn NL, like button against UGG. So you can 3 bet a bit more. Even if they're like 4 betting bluff, like just a bit less, this type of hands come from break even to winning money. This guy 4 bet. He has 16% free bet. I mean, this statistic is wrong 90% of the time. I'm just going to call here. I think you can put a lot of pressure. A lot of spots where like 0 king I board, he had jacks holding his aggression. I think calling is still plus EV. He bet 1/4. I think it's just going to go for one. His range is strong. I'm gonna fold. Also, not too many runouts can bluff. For example, if the board is king 8-9, I'll tend to call a bit more because I know that the board can go for 4 to flush or 4 to straight often, or even like can just be like 3 to straight, and I will represent all the pocket 10s, pocket 8, pocket 9s. So when I can't bluff too much to turn the river, I will just make more of this fold. Ace jack coming to call in the size. I'm doing this in video because I can do that, but as I'm talking, we need to note a lot what the ends are the free betting for which size, and also after, which is a bit more advanced, which timing. You can have a lot of EV by having this information. Okay, then I call the free bet. You bet half pot, this is really stronger. I'm still not going to fold this 10. I'm calling. Ace jack here, facing check. I don't think there are enough ends I can value bet. I'll just check. Okay, ace 10 now, check. I mean, it's pair like all the time, but I'm still not going to bet. I think I just want him to bluff the river. Like, I like to bet 10% pot, try let him doing something, but I tried it already, like a 10% pot bet on the turn to let them bluff because I don't expect them when they're pair to go. I needed to bet really fast because didn't have enough time. It's probably not the best size. And ace 10 here, yeah, he has air all the time. I'm gonna bet like 2 blind, obviously calling jumps. Yeah, this is a weird sizing with 10s. I didn't expect him to have 10s, so I size on 2 blind. Just to target like the king jack region, it's just a bit too curious. And I think as soon as I start betting bigger, you can fold 10s. Especially if I bet like really big. I mean really big, like even 1/3. So I like my size, probably better to bet 3 or 4 blinds. And you can only do this, like really only do this, because it's never a thing in theory, but you can only do this when you're like close to 100% sure you have the best end. Because otherwise it's just terrible and you need to check. And also if you think he's going to bluff raise a lot, you need to bet this size and call. But I'm saying that as soon as you bet, you need to call. But just if you plan to bet this sizing, you need to take into consideration that the EV of this sizing is coming from you calling and him having too much bluffs. But if he's not bluffing enough and you plan to call, this is actually dramatic and you should play this as a check all the time. But yeah, I was quite sure enough he didn't have a weaker end. I mean, he didn't have a better end. I'm gonna bet really small here with 5-4. The average runoffs on flop and turns will detect how much I'm bluffing. The reason why I'm betting smaller compared to checks, I don't want him to bet, as a lot of ends that will just randomly bet when I check, that are the same ends that will just call me when I bet small. So now I can just barrel. I won't do a big size. I don't think checking is fine, because when it goes check, I can put more pressure. And just because he only called my button of 3 big blinds when he's betting, I can just take more money to the air region and also the weaker region, because he will just fold and I re-raise. This is a really weird sizing after calling my bet for 3 big blind, but for me it's a bit too strong here, not merge enough, so I don't expect 10s and jacks to be in this size super often. I'll just fold. Ace 9 I will open. King 10 use UTG against big blind, it's interesting. I'm probably going to bet really small. Theoretically it's probably one of the only board where I can have big bets, even if it's monotone, but it should be a really low frequency big bet. And main sizing is small. I will range small even if it's not like the theoretical strategy, because I don't expect them to come off. I learned something really cool on the turn. It's really a cool expo move. I learned this with these poker snowish at the time. He's betting really small on the turn. He can't do anything. Like when he has a 10 or ends like Queen Jack, what is he doing? He's just folding. So you don't get bluff and you make fold a lot of hands on turn. Like, should go super often the King's region, 10x region without clubs. And it's really something that is tough to do here, facing this size. So I'll deviate from theory and choose this sizing all the time, because you're all not playing well in this size. Ace 9, just going to check, to lead. You bet big. So here in these spots, I don't advise to raise, because he's pretty polar, so no need to raise. But just the only thing I see people doing too much is calling too fast. Don't call too fast. Let him think you have a close end here. Like, you call like this, and then they can just bluff more. And the proportion of player bluffing less against your sizing is really low, so you can just do that. And yeah, he has a random man. Okay. We won this one, straight. Ace just off here, mainly your free bets. That's deep. I'm going to free bet a bit bigger. I want to present a stronger air range, and also it's tough for them to 4-bet enough as deep. This guy 4-bet me all the time. Yeah. And this sizing is not too strong. I want to do something, but yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I think when they have a value bet, they will raise bigger, but I don't want to like show you 5-betting aces off. And I'm not even sure it's great, so when I'm not sure, I'll take the most conservative option. Because if we do like EV differential between like the scenario that happened the most, it's just not great. I'll talk about EV difference in another video, but it's all the concept. Like EV distribution and EV density and stuff. Ace 10 here, facing a call, to check. We can bet small here, I think both options are fine. Like theoretically should play many with checks, but it's fine to bet. People are not raising too much. But the ones that check, there's so much mistakes. So Ace 10, you can play this as a bet in bluffs because you don't have that much on value and it's super easy for him to overfold. But the range that fall on the turn are hands that will check and fold when I bet the river. So when I check, I can allow him to bluff, and because he checks the flop, I know he's capped. So that's why check raising is actually better than check calling in these spots. But again, it's not that bad to play this as a check call. He called, river's an ace, this is interesting. I want to check, let's see, bluff the Jack 10, 7, 6 region. And I don't expect to have a lot of value, even if he can have... I want to think about it, this is really complicated. I want to bet really small. No, I'm going to check. This is really tough. Even King Queen is tough. I'm going to bet small. I didn't really have time to think about it. And as you see, if I don't have that much time, I take decision that have lower AV in general, fortunately. He bet 45. This is so weird. But in general, we'll do weird stuff and overbets, choose value. I'm gonna bet really small with King Queen now. Just want to get called by 2 pairs in. It's not the best size, but didn't have enough time to think about it. Okay, and now with this 10. Now I'm gonna fold. Should I ask to show? I think it's just value. I don't expect them to like. Why overbet him when they can just say it's normal? Honestly, I don't really know the bluff. He checks really fast on the flop. Against the call and bluff, so like maybe he can just transfer in like a mate. I don't know. This is complicated. We didn't have that many 8x. 9x is betting on the flop. This is really complicated. I'll ask him Kizan if I can play him again. With this here, I'm going to bet small against a wreck. I say I'm going to have a lot of sizing here against the reduction player. And I think with 10s, 1 blind is the best. Probably like 1.2 is better. King 5, just a really small size. We're playing show deep, so I'm gonna call. With 10 is gonna check. Recursion players bluff to merge the type of lines, so cool. I like his snap check. I close to always have the best hand. Now he mainly have a pair. I'm just going to bet alpha here. It'd be like 3.2. King 5 against alpha pots. Quite tempted to call like raise because he doesn't have that many 10x that play this way. I mean, I'm still going to call. Yeah, guys, King 9. Yeah, it's a really weird spot, but if you bet pre-flop, the main region he will have is overpair. And if you bet bets, I raise jump, he's falling all the time. And I can even avoid like being check call on the river by a 10. Because if I bet really big on the turn, we'll raise the next region. 10-9 shoot here. Well, I know the free bet stats is not the real stats in GG, but I think it's just way too much for me to fall. Even if it's not like purely significative. Queen 10 against Gary Chapel, I'm gonna call. Queen Jack suit is always a free bet in this position, and Queen 10 make call. 10-9 facing a check. I'm gonna tank and check. Yeah. Many of 10s, Jack, Kings play this way. He check back. Queen 10. How can I play Queen 10? I'll play this as a bet. You can have probably all sides here, like 1/3, 3/4 of a bet. I'm gonna put Queen 10 in the 3/4 region. And 10-9 now. Yeah, Jack is not the best to bluff. I'm gonna check and lose against Kings. King Spade, King Hearts. Okay, deuces. What the fuck? Okay, interesting. 7-3 off against the recreational players. There's absolutely no way I'm folding. And as you see, he needs to ISO hands like Jack X, 10x, this type of hands, and he will not do this because this type of hands just click the auto fold. So you need to leave all the time this type of hands against recreational players. And now I can bet my house, he's just folding. He's just not here, so he's going to fold. Now I can make a title like overbreaking like 4,000% odds. Going to open Queen Jack. Okay, Queen Jack would check. We open, excuse me. Flop it's always a check, close to check range. It's really bad board for you in general. Like out of position, you don't want to bet too much because you're going to isolate yourself too much against stronger range. And that's not that great when you play out of position. If you play 1/3, I'm going to check call. I will lead the turn maybe. So This is not a lead in theory. King 5 is not a free quarter in theory, but I will use it. I will explain why. It's not a lead in theory, but I expect 7s, 8s to take bigger size. And if I only have like ace, queen, king, queen now, I'll bet 3. I think this region is too weak. And people are not bluffing enough turn plus river when I check call in this pool. So with this taking into consideration, I expect leading to be better. King 5, I bet 3 quarter because when you bet 3 quarter, bet big, they fall way too much, especially on this type of an out. He raised the turn. I don't expect teams to be that strong, so I'm gonna call. And he still might have value, but yeah. Let's think about it. Yeah, I think he has his queen and king queen now, most of them. I can lead value bend the random region. We raise against his queen. The problem I'm not doing this in the turn is I don't have enough certainty. He didn't have 7 or 8 in the small size. Even if I think he will not have it. That's why I didn't play this as a small. That will be fine. Like you bet small, you re-raise. So he raised the bluff region. He also raised his queen. And you re-raise against the top of opponent's range because he's capped to 1 single pair. That's funny. No, I don't think on this river he has enough bluff, but he has so much low value hands. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna ask to show, but yeah, I can not see my mistake. Probably not going to show. I like the lead here. I think it's the best option against the pool, with what I said. If you start betting outputs, obviously never lead, but once they bet 1/3, their range is a bit too weak in general, so I can just lead. Maybe the setting on turn is a bit too big with my hand. I love custoding with ace queen is a bit better. But I think ace queen check raise. I want to check raise bigger sizing, because if the check raise bigger, the fall too much. Ace queen on a call. This is a good sizing, theoretically. I'm a bit scared about the size. Yeah, I think it's stronger. I'm gonna fall ace queen on turn, because I still think he can have ace king or king queen. And in general, people are a bit tight on the river. And I even thinking jabbing, because I don't think he's calling aces on my jam. But I think I have enough EV to check this hand. King just here is a check. Should play this as a some 3/4, like a really low amount. Half pot, and you should not have that much 1/3. And even if 1/3 is fine. On turn, you play any delay over bet in 3. Yeah, he's gonna wanna check. It's tough. He's fast checking. Ace queen. Yeah, we have the same, and it's why I'm not falling on the turn. But on the river, like, is he really? I don't know. I think if he bets, I'm gonna fall anyway. So if on the river, once there's a flush run out, he's betting half pots. I really don't like it. I'm gonna raise really big. I'm gonna call. I'm losing here. Yeah, I know I lose. The only problem why I'm calling is I try to play the most conservative option, and here's the call. In theory, but I think I have too many a6, too many single a6, so that's why I wanted to raise. But problem is tough to do accurate decision when you don't have too much time to think about it. So I'll really advise you I'm not doing this video because it's a bit boring. Just to close the table and go for a new table to have more time bank, because as you see here, the mistakes I did was 95% of the time just because I didn't have time. And it's a bit sad because you can really counter this, so don't do the same mistake as well. I like it in a way because it helped me to put better decision under pressure. Yeah, I think here the call is not great. Should on this right now, they are not bluffing enough. And I think when I raised extremely big on the rivers, I fall too much. I think half pot is too cap. Queen here, call 4 bets. King jack, really good board for me. I'm gonna bet really small. 6 is a good size. Ace queen off. Let's see this statistic guy. I think there's a hand on like 2+2. There was a debate if calling or raising was making more money. I was a bit rooted to the call. I think 4 bet is slightly higher, but it depends. Like it only depends on the position players. Sometimes the call will be better, sometimes the fold will be better, sometimes the raise will be better, just depends on this guy. Ace queen here. I'm gonna jam. Like I didn't overpairs way too much. And when this guy has jack stands, really close to impossible for him to call. I don't feel this guy played this way as king's aces super often. And if he's dicing, she will fold and then jacks, because I didn't overpair too much. I really like the jump. And you should be careful because sometimes you will think it's dog good spots, but they will be really bad. And if he calls stands, like I have between 25 and 30% equity, so that's always great. I think you have lower than 25 when he has like 10 for hurt. I really like my move. I'm thinking if putting a smiley is great or not. You know? I'm gonna show the ace of hurt. I like the guy saying I suck. Typically the comment of a guy folding 9. I should have wrote like I have aces nice hand. That's funny. 9-8 4. You go really fast. I advise you to maybe I'll do a video on it. focus on the timing tail in pre-bet pots because the calling region, when they call really fast, that timing tail. I'm going to check with aces here. Bet half pots. That's pretty polar here. I'm more like air-oriented, so probably playing this as a check call most often. Even if they don't bluff too much, I don't think aces play better as a check raise or check call lead. Really a better check call lead when the bet 1/3, but again, this guy, I don't really like it. Okay, if you bet half pot, I think I have the best end close all the time. I'm gonna call. He'll not bluff on the queen. I check too fast. Yeah, I check way too fast. Yeah, the problem in these spots means he's a fold pre-flop. But problem in these spots, if he doesn't bluff the river, like, I have a lead. Because if he bets, I don't know if he's not bluffing the river or not, but I'm gonna call 100%. So I can make call instead. Or, no, I need to check. I can't lead here. Yeah, it's a check. As I said, I think check calling is always better. King queen off here, she bet against this guy. On the flop, I will bet 1/3. It's not a board you should want for registrar in theory, but people are doing so much mistakes. But I just like this side. If you want to get raised a bit less, just bet a bit bigger, but that's fine. Okay, he's thinking about it for a lot. So once I think a lot, it's either close hands, or like strong hands that wanted to raise. So again, this range probably better to check. I'm gonna bluff the river. Ace jack. I'm gonna call. Be close because we played deeper. I call 100 deeper. And now king queen. I think I'll just spot. I represent too much hands, but a lot of frags just folding all the time. Ace jack, ace queen, ace 9. Even pocket 4, pocket deuces. I like my play. Yeah, I missed my side. I think I should play like. Should bet 44.99 against regular short players. I'm folding more this side. Yeah, he's going to call. He didn't take enough time, unfortunately. I should have more time than. I'm doing only mistakes because I have time blank. I don't like it. He got 4 or something. Ace 10. Wow, he think with ace 10. Wow. Okay, he's folding way too much then. Then my bet is great. Let's go. But I think if I bet like 44.99, it's really cool trick. Recreational players, especially on DGs, are smart with folding too much. I check when he check. I think checking is better, especially the backdoor clubs. And on the queen, when he check again, I think it's only ace king. So I'm gonna bet once here. Maybe just check and jump. I'm gonna check. Yeah, that's super cool. Because a lot of freebets like this where now, instead of playing this as a bet, I can just check and jump. And when he bet, I can even have money against the region. Then if you should play B or check here, this and check. Bet 26, I'm gonna jump. There's literally no flushes. So just really a big good luck for him to call with aces. I know he don't like to fold too much from the slow play, like against like aces, kings, but I think jamming is just the best option. And let's go. Good luck. 9-8, I'm gonna call. He fall, that's cool. That's why I check on the turn. Like, there's a lot of reverse you can rebluff. It's way better, even if it's an advanced move. Because you can bluff the bluff. Like, it just raise against the bluff and also like lets him put money with values. And sometimes I will not like the bet turn, bet river and step of line. But allow me to evaluate better than else. And each year I actually bet 1/3 on the turn. I'm really close to overbet 400% pots because I think I'm losing against queen. Yeah, even if I win against a stand, like he has no flushes when he bets super small in check, and I feel he's folding all the time, he's weaker region. But I prefer to do this when the backdoor flush was enter, because when there's a flush draw on the flop, it says see me less on this. 7-6, well, let's go. We're not the best hand against a cold flop bet, but we're going extremely deep, and like I put a lot of pressure. 7-6 here, facing check, I'm gonna bet small. 7-6. This is, I want to bet, but if I get raised, this is terrible. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna bet, but don't raise. I think shaking is fine. If I'm gonna raise, I will present no value. Yeah, I'm gonna bet, but don't raise. Really, don't jump, please. This will be terrible for me. I think it will not happen too much. That's why I play this way. I think it's mainly ace king and I fold folds. That's why I play this way. Because, like, overpair is betting often, and he can't even call. Because when he has kings, I mean, I can have aces, 10s, 9, so that's fine. When I limp 10 use here, it's the same thing. And also, even if he doesn't have the weak region, he needs to ISO 40% of the time. It will not just happen. It will not happen. 10 use here, I'm going to... There's a lot of ornaments, so I just want him to bluff them. And I squeeze with 8s here. Gonna check again. Team bluff with the region. Okay, he doesn't want to bluff it. No, it's just a check. I don't think he's calling enough on eights when I bet, and he just have all the jacks. Let me check. Okay, this guy jump and this guy jump too. Okay, he just have a jack. He's milking me right now. Yeah, I think people are really snap check on the turn, or the same people are not bluffing the river. I think the Bayesian correlation is too high, so I will just prefer to fold. 8-7 facing a small bet. I'm gonna raise sometime. Sizing should be 3.5. If he's range betting, he's not going to free bet and calling off. So if you saw Villain's range betting here, I'd really advise you to bet smaller. You fold. You should free bet the like king jack region sometimes, some 4, some 5. Well, not doing this into anymore. Even higher stakes, like in one canal, not all the people are doing this. HP knight open, board is 7-7-6. I want to check out the position. Okay, now I'm gonna have value bets. I don't think he has too many pocket pairs he checked, especially as fast. I'm just going to bet really small. The goal about betting small and why it's so great compared to check is you call by hands like king queen, ace jack, 2 beats, and you make fall ends like 10-9 or jack 10. That's your outs against you, so that's why I like this side. I think for me it's the best one. I'll end the video now, so I hope you like it, and see you for the next one. Bye guys!